Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is July the 22nd. It's about 7:28 and the day's kind of winding down. I had it on my mind to make a bait fishing video. I see a lot of these videos and I rarely make them on my channel. So I'm going to kind of go over the baits that I throw midsummer, and I was going to do my top 5, but I have so many. I may have like 7 to 10 baits, but I'm going to go through them real quick. A lot of people ask me what to throw, what are you throwing, this and that, so I'm just going to make a video for everybody. Hopefully this video will help you, and maybe you all can get out there and catch some bass. So we're going to start first thing, Topwater, and this is, you know, I've got this on right now, but this is my Strike King KVD spook. And what I like about this spook is it has 2 metal BBs in the back that kind of give it that sound when I'm knocking it across the water there. And another thing that I've noticed, when it gets really hot, these bass, they're feeding on little bitty bait. And I have lost so many big fish because they'll just come up to it, but they're not really aggressive, and then they'll just pop at it. So I've kind of switched it up, and this is something that I've kind of learned within the last 3 years, but I've put a little spinner right on the back, and it kind of mimics one of those shads, so they hear the sound, and when they look at it, they're kind of like, I kind of want it, but they'll just barely pop at it, so they really don't grab a hold of it. But this little flicker on the back, this little spinner, really drives them crazy, and they'll come up and they'll pop at that spinner, but they'll grab a hold of that treble hook, and then you can get a fish in. So that is my favorite Topwater. Next we have the white fluke. It's a white pearl fluke made by Zoom. I've got it on a 4/0 hook, nothing else. Throw it as it is, and I make it weedless. And you know, you can throw this throughout the whole year. It doesn't matter, winter, summer, spring, fall. The fish, if you can't get a bite, man, throw this. And this is just something I always have on. Next, if they're really aggressive that morning, this is just a big white spook. And you know, if the Topwater bites on and they're really aggressive, go bigger and throw you on a big white spook. But now this one right here, man, it's got the beads as well in it, and I've caught really big fish on it. So that's kind of the Topwater. Next we're going to go to kind of like a pitch bait or something to throw to get down there deep. A lot of people go with a jig. I'm not a jig guy, so I like a lot of Texas rig baits. But the first one that I've got that I've kind of been working with is this green pumpkin brush hog. And when these fish, you know, when they're up in the shade and deep brush, you just want something to pitch in there. And this right here, you know, this brush hog, it's a bait that, to me, that they really don't see a lot because it's just kind of out there, and it's kind of a odd looking bait, but it really gets you a bite this time of the year. That and a tube, I like a tube as well. But that green pumpkin brush hog made by Zoom, that's something really good to pitch in. Next, we're going to go with a worm. So these 2 colors right here, midsummer when it's really hot, throwing in deep brush as well. We've got the red bug. This is the Zoom Old Monster red bug. This is by far my favorite color worm. Even in the fall, this is really good. But a red or blue worm really gets the bites. And I kind of feel like when it boils down to the evening, I think this is June bug made by Zoom. This is like a purplish, blackish, bluish in between. This is a really good. So red, kind of like a red or a bluish or a purplish. Definitely these 2, but I've got this of the morning and this of the evening, and I've really got some really big bites, deep brush during the summer. So that's something as well. And then we have another, this is like a crawl type bait, but this is the watermelon red seed Z-crawl made by Zoom, and this is the big one. Something about that red flake in it that really turns these fish on and make them aggressive. But now this bait right here, this is a phenomenal bait, and you know, I just throw a Texas rig 3/8 ounce weight on it, and you can get really big bites on it as well. And of course, as we know, this is by far one of my favorite baits, and you know, this is that fish head weighted hook with the spinner on it, and I'm telling you, then you have the Kitech Swimbait electric shad, and I'll just be honest with you, this is probably my favorite bait, you know. But now this is very high, this is a high dollar bait, but now this is going to get you the bites. But you definitely do not want to lose this, because this right here is this is it. If somebody asks me what's a good bait, and you know, during the summer they're always feeding on shad, they're always schooling up, smallmouth, largemouth. I've caught them all on this bait right here. But now that's the real deal. I don't care who you are, you throw this bait, when they're feeding on shad, you will get fish. And I mean, this is the real deal. And honestly, it's so good. I really don't like telling people about it, but you know, we're wanting to help you all. Next, so we have our Wacky rig, and this is like a 1/0 little Berkeley hook, 2/0 1/0 hook. And this is, I normally throw like a green pumpkin this time of the year, but this is like a black something. But this is a Gary Yamato Cinco bait, and you gotta have a Wacky rig on, because I'm telling you, when they're kind of picky, you can just pitch that in there, and kind of looks like a hurt bluegill just kind of falling down, and they will eat that up. We've always got to have the Wacky rig tied on. And next, we're just going to kind of go to our crankbait, and this is by far, this is a 5XD. I think it dives 10 to 15 feet. This is my 5XD KVD crankbait, chartreuse color, and it is phenomenal for the summer when they're just deep and they're just kind of sitting there. When you can kind of find a school of fish and they're just kind of sitting there and just kind of feeding on some shad or, you know, bait fish that's kind of going by and they're not really aggressive, if you can find them and just kind of drag this through it, that chartreuse, man, if you can get one to hit, you can fire a school up, and you can catch a lot of bass when they're feeding on shad. And that chartreuse, man, I don't know what it does, but looking at it, you really wouldn't think that that would be a bass getter. But I'm telling you, we've caught big smallmouth, big largemouth, and this is kind of, I always have this tied on, you know, when they're sitting deep. But that's my crankbait, and I've actually got that tied on here. So hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope that maybe you all can take some of these baits and try it and go catch some fish. But these are just some of the baits that I've got on right now that I'm catching my fish on. So figured I'd share that with you all. But hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think. If you got any good baits that you recommend for me, I've always got space to learn. So let us know in the comments, and we will see you next time. Bye.